Have you ever looked at a standard semi-truck and T and thought, you know what, that is simply not long enough? Welcome to the thrilling world of the extreme custom stretch, where practical logic gets left in the dust and wheelbase length becomes a pure badge of honor. Today we are hunting down the most ridiculously stretched, mind-bending semi-trucks ever to grace the American asphalt. We are analyzing custom-built leviathans, machines that require an entire acre of land just to make a simple U-turn. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Now let's fire up these massive diesel engines. We are kicking things off with an absolute icon of the American highway, the Peterbilt 379, specifically the legendary Project 350 build style. When we talk about a stretch 379, we are usually looking at a wheelbase pushed out to a massive level, 300 to 350 inches. Just let that sink in. The sheer visual impact of seeing that iconic long hood, followed by miles of bare frame rails seemingly endless, before you even get to the fifth wheel, it is pure heavy metal poetry and a massive statement of power. However, here is the harsh mechanical reality. Stretching a 379 is an engineering nightmare. When extending the driveline, you face immense torsional stress. A standard frame rail will twist apart under heavy torque. Builders must upgrade carrier bearings, dynamically balance multi-piece drive shafts, and reinforce the frame with custom double or even triple steel sleeving. Look under the hood. You will find the soul of this beast, a mechanical Cat 3406E engine, pushing well over 600 horsepower and producing over 2,000 pound-feet of torque to pull massive loads. Now, let us talk about the reality of driving a 350-inch Peterbilt. This is the ultimate turning nightmare. Imagine trying to navigate a tight roundabout in the Northeast, or squeezing into a packed truck stop at 2 in the morning. You are not just turning, you are negotiating with the pavement. Drivers of these large cars must swing out incredibly wide into opposite lanes. It is a massive flex of skill, proving that this is a gear jammer's masterpiece, built on uncompromising mechanical dedication and pure passion. If you thought the 379 was a longboat on the highway, wait until you see how Kenworth answered the call. Enter the Kenworth W900L with the colossal studio sleeper. The letter L literally stands for long, but the factory stretch is merely a starting point. We are talking about stretching the chassis out to 330 inches just to accommodate a massive 86-inch or custom 120-inch studio sleeper, while still leaving enough deck plate to show off shiny custom fenders. And an imposing Texas square front bumper. Truly, this is pure nostalgia baiting, but the multi-axle secret here is crucial for legal operation. Adding a living room to the back completely changes weight distribution. It messes with the Federal Bridge gross weight formula to keep it legal and prevent steer tires from floating dangerously at 75 miles per hour. Haulers must strategically place a pusher axle. Under the hood lies a big cam Cummins N14 engine. Take a look at these numbers on the screen. A laser-aligned stretch job easily costs upwards of $80,000. Paying that much money for a custom frame stretch proves one thing: this lifestyle is not for the faint of heart. It requires serious financial dedication. Furthermore, you can completely forget about standard fuel economy metrics. You are literally measuring miles per gallon when you are piloting a stretched W900L down the interstate. The deep throbbing pulse of the Cummins engine, paired with that incredibly long frame, gives this rig an undeniable presence, cementing its absolute status as a rolling luxury condo built for the true American highway. Now, let us flip the script completely. Stretching a long hood conventional truck makes sense. But what happens when you apply that extreme logic to a truck designed to be as short as possible? Welcome to the cab-over paradox. The Peterbilt 362 cab-over stretch. Historically, cab-overs were born out of strict overall length laws. They were compact and built for maximum trailer length. Therefore, taking a 362 and stretching the wheelbase is the ultimate rebellion against the establishment, creating the most bizarre and visually arresting silhouette on the road. However, unlike conventionals, cabovers have a hard physical limit. Push them past 260 or 270 inches, and the geometry fails. Mechanically, this requires a total rethink, particularly with the steering and shift linkages. Cabovers already have complex long linkages dropping down from the cab to the transmission. When you stretch the frame, maintaining tight tolerances on those shift rods is incredibly difficult. If miscalculated, you get a horrific, dangerous dead spot in the gears, making the truck incredibly unsafe to operate at highway speeds of 65 miles per hour. Powering this rebellious stretch is often the legendary Detroit Diesel 60 Series engine. It is highly reliable, sings a high-pitched tune, and fits perfectly underneath that compact doghouse cab. You have this flat, aggressive face right over the steer axle, followed by a cavernous gap of painted frame rails before the drive tires. Ultimately, the Stretch 362 is not about hauling maximum freight or maximizing profit margins. It is a middle finger to convention and a custom show truck that proudly defies its own fundamental engineering DNA. Speaking of trucks that demand attention, let us look at the International 9900X. This is the classic Eagle aesthetic, stretched out to its absolute physical limit. If you think these highway haulers are crazy, stick around, because soon we will look at an off-road Leviathan, a machine that makes these look like toys, when custom builders take the 9900X and push it past 310 inches. The truck transforms entirely. The squared-off, highly aggressive lines of the International hood look incredibly imposing when backed by a massive length of bare chassis. The secret sauce of the stretched 9900X lies entirely in its suspension dynamics. A longer wheelbase technically provides a smoother ride on the open highway. It bridges expansion joints far better than a short day cab, but that long frame acts like a giant lever. If the air ride suspension and shock absorbers are not perfectly calibrated, the frame can bounce and flex violently under massive torque. This leads to severe structural fatigue over time, especially when pulling heavy payloads weighing over 80,000 pounds across uneven state lines. Under the massive hood, you are usually looking at a powerhouse Cummins ISX engine. The sheer cost of maintaining this stretch beast is staggering, from balancing the extended driveline to managing the specialized suspension tuning. The maintenance bills add up very quickly, but for the proud owner-operator who commands the passing lane, the commanding presence of the 9900X Eagle is worth every single penny spent. It stands as an imposing brutalist piece of highway architecture, absolutely dominating the left lane on any major American interstate. Moving on, we have a truck that uniquely blends aerodynamic curves with hardcore custom styling, the Freightliner FLD 120. Originally, the FLD was engineered as a standard fleet truck. It was sleeker, lighter, and much more fuel-efficient than the squared-off Peterbilts of its era. Stretching one is highly unconventional, but when custom builders finally got their hands on it, they turned it into a low-slung, stretched-out aerodynamic missile. Stretching an FLD 120 out to 280 or 290 inches creates a truly unique and polarizing visual dynamic on the highway. The sloped hood and rounded aerodynamic fenders contrast sharply with the aggressive hard lines of the custom stretched frame and massive drop visors. However, here is the turning nightmare reality. The FLD 120, even in factory form, utilized a specific steering box placement, a placement that did not yield the sharpest cut when you stretch it. Navigating a tight loading dock becomes an exercise in millimeter-perfect precision. You are fighting the geometry of the steering system, while trying to maneuver a rig that is nearly 30 feet long just for the tractor. Despite the steering challenges, builders absolutely love the FLD platform for extreme modifications. because the factory chassis is incredibly robust and highly adaptable. It allows for slammed air ride setups, where the frame rails practically scrape the pavement. When the truck is parked at a show, it is highly aerodynamic, it looks angry, and when properly stretched, it commands absolute respect from the gear jammer community. It proves that even a former corporate fleet truck can be transformed into an absolute show-stopping masterpiece with enough time and money. Prepare yourselves, because we are about to talk about a hidden legend. This is the unicorn of the stretch trucking world, the Marmon 57P, for those who do not know. Marmon was widely considered the Rolls-Royce of trucks. They were entirely hand-built in Texas and produced in incredibly low numbers for elite buyers. To find a Marmon 57P today is rare, but to find a stretched one is almost a myth. In fact, modifying a Marmon chassis is considered highly controversial within the classic truck community because they are so rare. Most purists consider cutting a factory Marmon frame to be an unforgivable sin against trucking history. Therefore, the very few ultra-long Marmons you might see were often custom-ordered with extended wheelbases directly from the Garland, Texas factory before they closed their doors forever. Look at the craftsmanship on the screen, the wiring, the air routing, and the frame specifications are entirely unique and bespoke to the brand. You cannot simply buy an off-the-shelf frame extension kit for a machine this rare and meticulously crafted. The historical significance of a long wheelbase Marmon simply cannot be overstated. It is a precious piece of rolling Americana. The owners of these vehicles are not just hauling freight, they are actively preserving trucking history. When a stretched Marmon 57P rolls into a truck show, complete with its premium aluminum cab and custom interior, everything else simply disappears into the background. It represents a lost era of premium bespoke truck manufacturing, focused entirely on unmatched quality rather than mass production and cheap plastic aerodynamic body parts. Let us step back into the Kenworth camp, but this time we are getting our hands dirty. Enter the Kenworth W900B. While the W900L is the sleek, glamorous highway cruiser, the W900B is its rugged blue-collar brother, its heavy-duty counterpart. It has a slightly shorter hood, but when it comes to the stretch treatment, the B model brings a whole new level of brutal capability. When a W900B is stretched out past 320 inches, you are not building a pure show truck. You are building a dedicated heavy-haul monster. The frame rails on a stretched B model are significantly thicker, utilizing a full double frame or even a triple frame. From the radiator all the way to the pintle hitch at the rear, the multi-axle secret here is on full display. You will almost always see heavy-duty drop axles, lift axles, and massive 46,000-pound rear ends geared incredibly low for extreme pulling power. Look at this beast on the screen. It is specifically designed to pull specialized trailers loaded with payloads well over 150,000 pounds without breaking a sweat. This specific truck represents the ultimate dynamic escalation in the custom transport world. It is not long just for the sake of looking cool at a truck show. It is long because it desperately needs to distribute those massive 150,000-pound payloads across a bridge without violating strict federal weight distribution laws. The W900B stretch is exactly where uncompromising hardcore utility meets terrifying aesthetics. It is a blue-collar workhorse on steroids, designed to tackle the absolute heaviest loads on the American highway with pure, unfiltered mechanical supremacy. And that perfectly sets the stage for the absolute most intimidating machine on our list. Behold, see, the Kenworth C500. We have now left the paved highways far behind. The C500 is an off-road, oil-field, heavy-haul Leviathan. It is strictly built to carry massive drilling rigs and oversized payloads, things that would instantly crush a normal semi-truck into scrap metal. When a C500 is stretched, it reaches a level of engineering madness that completely defies standard logic. Dominating the harshest environments found on the North American continent with ease, we are talking about wheelbases well over 350 inches, sometimes approaching 400 inches for specialized bed trucks. They feature twin steer axles up front, just to handle the massive front-end engine weight, and a tridem or quad-axle planetary drive setup in the rear. The tires are massive, military-grade flotation rubber designed for mud and snow. Look closely at the screen. The frame of a stretched C500 is essentially a mobile steel bridge constructed from steel with the absolute highest tensile strength available to prevent snapping under extreme torsional twisting. The C500 does not care about fuel economy, aerodynamics, or maintaining highway speeds of 70 miles per hour. Its gearing is so incredibly low, practically it could pull down a mountain. The concept of a turning radius is absolutely non-existent. You literally need a desolate oil field in Texas or the frozen wide-open tundra of Alaska just to maneuver this massive beast. It is the absolute pinnacle of heavy-duty mechanical supremacy, completely unmatched by anything else rolling out of a commercial truck manufacturing plant in the modern era today. Finally, we bring it back to the paved roads and the modern era with the Peterbilt 388 as emission laws tightened and aerodynamics became standard. The custom truck scene had to adapt. The 388 took the classic lines of the legendary 379, sloped the hood slightly for better visibility and aerodynamics, and became the ultimate canvas for a modern stretch. Builders quickly realized that they could combine old-school length with new-school technology, creating some of the most stunning custom rigs currently dominating the national truck show circuits. However, stretching a 388 involves a massive technical headache, an issue that old mechanical trucks simply did not have. That is the complex emissions and electronic architecture. It is not just about moving the exhaust tanks. Modern trucks rely on a highly sensitive CAN bus system. When you extend those wiring harnesses across 320 inches of frame, the electrical resistance permanently changes. Look at the complexity on the screen. If the wire gauge is not calculated perfectly, the voltage drop will disrupt signals, instantly throwing the truck into limp mode. Overcoming these electronic nightmares requires an absolute masterclass in modern electrical engineering. You cannot just cut and splice wires like the old days anymore. The 388 represents the absolute cutting edge of the custom scene today. They are incredibly sleek, they sit inches from the ground, and they are phenomenally long. So, here's the real question for you. Are these extreme stretch trucks absolute masterpieces of American custom engineering, or are they simply massive, highly unpractical highway hazards? Drop your strongest opinion in the comments section below right now. From the classic Peterbilt 379 to the factory-stretched Marmon 57P and the oil-field-crushing Kenworth C500, these ridiculously long semi-trucks prove one thing. In the world of big rigs, too much is never enough. They are massive, they cost a fortune, and they are glorious testaments to custom American engineering. If you love hardcore machinery and heavy-duty builds, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and answer our pinned comment. Keep the shiny side up, and we will catch you on the next one.